Okay, so now the next data type is set. So till now we studied about list, we studied about string, we studied about dictionary, tuple, okay, if, for, nested for, while. We understand these things in great detail. Okay, so today the last data structure, that is the set, because when we move further, when we move to the file handling, when we move to the database connectivity or any other advanced topic, even the functions as well, so in all these topics you are required these things. If you are good enough into these things, because this is the, you can imagine it, this one is the backbone of the Python. Okay, if I describe the backbone of the Python backbone is all these things. Okay, if you are good enough, then you are easily understand these things, you can easily understand these things, because not understand, you can easily implement these things, because you are supposed to play with the data. Now the data will become in this format, might be into this format, might be into this format, might be into this format. Okay, so now the last topic is the set, that is the again data structure. Now we are going to elaborate what are the various the methods which are associated with this set. Okay, understand this concept. So we already discussed the dictionary and the set. If I define like this, okay, if I define like this, the priority of the dictionary is higher. So my interpreter will be consider this as a dictionary, this as a dictionary. Then how I can differentiate? Because the representation of the set is same. Okay, the same. These are the curly braces. But inside the dictionary we studied in great detail, it is the collection of the key and value pair. But if I talk about the set, that means it is the collection of the heterogeneous objects. Okay, heterogeneous object. So now understand the concept of the set. So if I want to define a set, then what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to do it. Okay, now this become a set. When I print type of S, you will get the output, that is the class of set. Okay, that is the class of set. So now my interpreter understand it, this fall under the category of the set. That's it, very simple. Okay, now I am moving ahead. So let's suppose this one is a list 10, 20, 30. I want to convert it into the set. Very simple, that is the concept of the typecasting. Now it become this. Okay, now it become this, that is the set. Now it becomes the set. So there is one very beautiful feature with the set. For example, okay, for example, this one is the data. Okay, 10, 20, 10, 10, 10, 20. Okay, so here the unique item is only 10 and 20. Now my requirement is that I want to remove the duplicate items. Very simple concept. One way is you are supposed to convert a logic, you are supposed to define your own logic. Another concept is just do the typecasting. That's it. Just do the typecasting. Now the duplicate items will automatically remove, because this one is the property of a set. Inside set, let me show you the practical scenario for the same, then the picture would be more clear. Okay, so this one is my set. How I can define set? The S is equal to the multiple items. System responds very slow. Okay, so now let's suppose this one is a set 10, 20, 30, 10. Okay, 20 and again the 30. So now when I print S, automatically you can check it out, the duplicate items has been removed. Okay, very useful feature. Let's suppose you are getting a data that contain the duplicate items. Now your question is, sir, I want to remove the duplicate item from this data. There are two ways. One way you are supposed to define a logic which will remove the duplicate items. Okay, that means you are doing the code by your own logic. Okay, another way is simply convert it into the set, then automatically duplicates will be removed. Now this is the way. So this one is the property, very beautiful property of the set, that you can remove the duplicate items, automatically remove the duplicate items. Okay, so let's suppose one very beautiful use case for the set. You are getting a data okay, you are getting the mobile numbers from the different user. Let's suppose my mobile number inside the data set 10 times. If I didn't do the, you know, the pre-processing of the data, I simply send the messages to the raw data, then how many times I will get the message? I will get the 10 times. I will get irritated. Okay, that's mean your resources are wasted 9 times over here. Your messages are wasted 9 times over here. So let's suppose you want to remove these duplicate mobile numbers. One way, you are supposed to design your own logic. Another way, you can convert this data into the set, and automatically the duplicate items will be removed. Okay, choice is again yours. So I'll tell you the one way, the easy way, only one line of code. With the help of this one line of code, you can convert the data into the set. Okay, so now the methods which are associated with the set, understand it. Let's suppose you want to add the important function. Basically, first we understand the function. Let's suppose sorry, not function, the methods. Okay, these are the methods, sorry. So let's suppose this one is a set. You want to add something. Okay, you want to add something for the method, for the same, because this is the fall under the mutable objects. When I talk about these are the mutable objects, it means that you can insert the item over here. So s dot add of 50. Now this 50 is added into this set. So I print this as, then the output would be 10, 20, 30 or 50. Okay, so this one is the you can say add method, which is used to add the content into this. Okay, very simple method. Now the next is update. Okay, update. So update means that I want to update the content of this set. Very simple. To add the multiple item into a set. Let's suppose this one is your set. Okay, this one is your set. Now you want to update your set with this list. Okay, with this list. So how you can do? S dot update of it. That's it. Now this set has been updated. Now what is the difference between add and update? If you want to add single item, okay, if you want to add single item into set, then you are supposed to go with this add. If you want to update multiple items, okay, then you are supposed to take the help of the update. Now keep this point into the mind. Update always take the iterable objects. It doesn't mean that you are supposed to do update like this. Okay, update of 10, 20, 30. No, it will give you the error message. It should be into the list, okay, or it should be into the tuple. Then you are supposed to update it. Otherwise, you will get the error message into the this context. Okay, so keep this point into the mind. Whenever you want to use update, the updated item should be in the form of the list or in the form of the iterable objects. Okay. So the next is your copy. Okay, the copy means that same, I want to copy something. So this one is a S. Okay, now I want to copy into the S1. S1 S dot copy. That's it. Very simple. Okay, now S1 is different. Okay, S1 is on different memory location. S is on different memory location because I copy it. Okay, I make a clone for this S, and that clone I give the name, that is the S1. Okay, keep this point into the mind. Now next is pop. S dot pop. Pop means that I am going to remove arbitrary item. Okay, random. It will remove basically the random item from this entire list. For example, this one is a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, now randomly anything will be removed. Why randomly? Because this is the unordered pair. And when I say the unordered pair, it's mean you are not supposed to use the concept of the slicing. Yes, slicing is not applicable over here. In the case of dictionary, in the case of, in the set, you are not supposed to perform the slicing. Okay, so keep this point into the mind. The pop mean randomly remove any item. Might be 30, might be it can remove 10, might be it can remove 50. Okay, so the next is S dot remove of 10. It's mean it will remove. Okay, it will remove the specific element from this set. Let's suppose this 10 you want to remove, then you are supposed to pass this 10. Okay, it will remove the 10. So with the help of pop, it will remove randomly any element. Okay, and with the help of this remove, it will remove the specific element which you want to remove. Let's suppose you want to remove this 10, then you are supposed to pass this 10. Let's suppose you write this s dot remove of 500. The 500 is not applicable over here, so you will get the key error. Okay, keep this point into mind. So you will get the key error. So that element is not available, but you are trying to remove it, you will get the key error. So how you can handle this situation? If 500 in S, then you are supposed to use it, otherwise simply say not applicable or not available. This is the one way. Okay, the another way, let's suppose you don't want to use this if and else, then how you can handle this situation? S dot discard. Okay, discard of 500. Now when you use the discard, let's mean the 500 is not available, then it won't give you any error. It won't give you any error because that 500 is not available. That means it doesn't give you any error when you are using the discard. So this one is the difference between the pop, discard and remove. Remove will give you the error if the element is not available. Discard won't give any error, okay, if the element is not present over here. So this one is the difference between pop, remove and discard. So the next one is s dot clear.
So in case of pop, it takes the element itself, or
no sir, randomly sir. Randomly it will pick any element, okay, randomly. But in the case of discard, in the case of remove, you are let's suppose you want to remove specific element that is present into this set. At that time you can take the help of this remove, you can take the help of this discard. But if you are not sure that that element is present over there or not, then go with the discard. Okay, so next is clear. Very simple. Let's suppose this one is 10, 20, 30. You want to clear, s dot clear. So it will remove the item from this set. Okay, if I do this del of s, it means it removing the existence of this s. These two are different, del and remove. Okay, these are the basic method which are associated with this set. Now I am moving ahead the mathematical operation on the sets. Okay, the mathematical operation on the set. Now when we studied the set in the school days, we learn about the union. Okay, we learn about the intersection, we learn about the difference, we learn about the symmetric difference. Okay, we learn about all these operation, the mathematical operation which are available on the set. The same operation if you want to perform over here, yes, we can perform over here. Now these are the two sets, the S and S1. Okay, inside this and 10, 20, 30, inside this 10, let's suppose 40, 50 and 60. Now I want to perform the union operation. Union mean combining the all. Okay, the union mean combining the all. That's mean all data from the set 1 and set 2. So how I can perform it? Very simple. S dot union of S1. That's it. This is the one way. Okay, the S dot union of S1. Now you will get output 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Okay. Now another way. You don't want to use union, don't worry about it. So what you can use? Pipe sign. Okay, this one, pipe sign, S pipe S1. Okay, now where this pipe sign is available, you can check it out your keyboard. On the right hand side shift, in the above of shift you will get enter. In the above of enter you will get a symbol like this. Okay, this and this. So how you can implement this? With the help of shift. Press shift. Okay, press shift and press this symbol, this key, and you will automatically generate over this pipe side. So this one is the way. With the help of this pipe you are supposed to perform it if you don't want to use the concept of the union. Okay, but yes, these are the two ways. With the help of these two ways you can perform the operation, that is the union. The union mean the entire data, whatever into the set X, whatever into the set Y. Okay, I think the picture is clear. Now the next is the intersection. Intersection specify itself. The intersection mean the common items. Okay, the common item between the X, common item between the Y. So let's suppose these are the two set S, okay, S1, 10, 20 and 50. Now I want to perform the intersection, the one way S dot intersection of S1. Now what output I will get? I will get only the common items. Okay, the common item 10 and 20. So output would be 10 and 20. Another way to perform the intersection with the help of this AND sign. Okay, AND sign. With the help of this AND sign. Okay, AND sign, then again you will get the output on the same manner. Okay, choice is again here. You want to write the complete intersection or you want to write this AND sign. Output would be same in the both of case, and it perform the mathematical operation, that is the intersection, means that common between two sets. Okay, so the next is your difference. So difference, how I can perform difference? First check it out. X dot difference of y. This is the one way. Another way, x minus y. Now the question is, sir, what it will return? Okay, so take the example 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, and y is equal to your, let's suppose 30, 40, 50, 60. Now you want to perform x minus y. So what output I will get? I will get the output 10 and 20. Okay, if I perform y minus x, then what output I will get? I will get 50 and 60. So now how I get this output? Understand this scenario. When I perform x minus y, okay, when I perform x minus y, it's mean whatever item. Okay, now simply mathematic. Okay, just cut down, which are the common, just cut down. So what you left? What you left in the case of the x? You left in the case of the x 10 and 20. Now you will get the 10 and 20. Same if I perform y minus x. So what you left? 50 and 60. The output would be 50 and 60. So this concept is called difference. Choice is again here. You want to write the complete difference, you can write complete difference. You want to perform like this, x minus y, you can perform like this. Okay, so any question till now? Okay, so the next is symmetric difference. Okay, symmetrics underscore difference. So this one is the another way, the symmetric difference. The one way, x dot symmetric difference of y. This is the one way. Another way, x exponent sign, okay, this cap sign, and you can take the y. So both of the case the output would be same. Okay, this one is the symbolic representation, this one is the word representation for the symmetric difference. Now the question is, sir, what output I will get? Okay, in the same case. Okay, I am writing again 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, y is equal to 10, sorry, here 50. You can write, okay, you can write 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so I am writing it. So now understand this concept. So I am writing the symmetric difference. So x exponent of y. So now what output I will get? 10, okay, 10, 20, 50 and 60. Sir, how, sir? Okay, understand this scenario. The items which are cut down, which are the common one, that won't display on the screen. Okay, the unique item from x, the unique item from y, that would be display on the screen. In this case, x minus y, only the unique item which are available into the x, that would be appear on the screen. When you perform y minus x, the only the unique item which are available into the set y, that would be display on the screen. Okay, so these are the mathematical operation which you can perform on the set. The union, intersection, difference and symmetric difference. Choice is again here. You want to use the complete name, write the complete name. If you want to use the symbol for the same, you can use the symbol. So here the symbol is this, okay, the cap sign. So now the membership operator, very simple, in and not in. I think no need to explain these two operations which are used into the case of the set, okay, which are used into the case of the set. So I think no need to explain this point. If the output, if the data that you are looking for, if available, then it will return you true. Okay, if not available, then it will return you true. Okay, so these are the same whatever we use in the case of the list, dictionary and tuple as well. So here the concept slicing is not applicable. Okay, keep this point into the mind. You are not supposed to perform it. You will get the error message. Okay, error message, that is the type error, I suppose, that you will get. Okay, if you try to do this, then you will get the error message because the slicing is not applicable over here. Okay, so keep this funda into the mind. And the question is, sir, why not applicable? Because set is the unordered pair. Okay, the set is a unordered pair. Okay, So the next is set comprehension. Yes, available, very simple, same concept for I in range of 10. Okay, so this one is the concept of the set comprehension. Yes, here the set comprehension is available. Okay, so these are the very basics about the set. Now very small topic, because set is again very small topic, so we discuss the important methods which are associated with the set. So let's see one or two the small programs with the help of this set. Okay, so I am using this one as well. So I know you guys have still want to know, sir, what is the logic for the same if I want to implement without using set. The question is, sir, I want to remove the duplicate items, but I don't want to use sets. Can you please explain, sir, what is the logic for the same? Okay, so first I will show the logic, and then we already seen with the help of the set. Now I am showing you without using set, because this question can be occur, okay, in the interview room. Okay, remove the duplicate item from the list. Okay, so this type of question can be occur. So I am showing you very small logic for the same. This one is a list and which contain the duplicate items. Now my requirement is I want to remove the duplicate items which are present on L. Okay, so for the same, what I will do, I will making a one new container, and inside that container I am placing only those value which are the unique value into the L. Okay, now I think the picture is clear. So understand this point. If I understand this concept into the layman term or into the conceptual view, then this one is a container which contain the duplicate items. Okay, which contain the duplicate item. Now this one is an empty container. So what I will do, understand this concept first. So let's suppose first I pick out 10. Okay, because 10 is not available. I am focusing on this word because same thing terminology I am going to use in the case of this logic. So let's suppose 10 is not there, so I will put the 10. Okay, I will put the 10. In the next case, again I get the 10. Now I will check out into this container, not into this container. I will check out into this container. If this 10 is available, then I am supposed to do nothing. Okay, I'll do nothing over here because this 10 is already available here. Okay, now the next item I will pick it out, that is the 20. Okay, if 20 is not there into this container, I will put out the 20. If 30 is not there over here, then I will put out the 30. So this one is the logic for the same, in, not in. Okay, so how I can check, how I can handle this scenario with the help of in and not in. First, what you are supposed to do, you are iterating these objects as well. Okay, and after that you are supposed to perform the logic over there, your if condition that you are supposed to perform over here. Okay, if this condition is true or false, that is totally depend upon your condition, what condition that you are supposed to make over here. If your condition fulfill that criteria, then do this. If it is not fulfill that criteria, then don't do it. That is a simple scenario. Okay, the conceptual view how you can solve this problem, because this problem can be asked in the case of the interview room. Okay, maximum time this is asked into the fresher level, into the C and C++ context. So the logic would be same over there as well. So I made a one container. Okay, the L is my container which contain the duplicate items. The L1 is my empty container. Now I am performing the logic for the same. First I have to iterate through for X in L. That's mean I am iterating one by one the every item. Okay, so after that I am making my condition if. Okay, so I am making my condition if what condition I am making, X not in. Okay, not in L1, then what I am supposed to do, then I am supposed to put that value into that container, and I know what is the way to put that value into that container. L1 dot append of X. That's it. My logic is ready for the same. Okay, now when I print L1, you can check only the duplicate items, sorry, only the unique item. But in the case of L, you can check it out, there are duplicate items, but in the case of L1, only the unique item that are available, I put it out into that. The logic is this one, X not in. Okay, so I took the help of not in. If that is not in there, okay, if that value is not there, then I am supposed to append it. The same scenario which I explained you conceptually, the same thing I implemented practically. Another way, very simple, set of L. Okay, set of L, as we already discussed. Choice is again here, but here the output in the form of the set again that you want to do the typecasting. Okay, so list again, you are supposed to convert the set output in again into the list. Okay, so I think the spelling mistake. Okay, so this one. Choice is again your, which way you feel comfortable, you can proceed with that way. I show you both of the ways, whatever the ways available. Any question? Any question till now? Okay, so I am making one more program, then I am closing this that topic. So,
Sir,
yeah, please.
sir, where can we use pop in real world?
Pop.
Because it
Okay.
take random values.
Okay. So pop, let's suppose f dot pop. So it's mean, let's suppose, sorry, s dot pop. So I want to remove any random value. Okay, it doesn't know which value that I am gonna to remove. Let's suppose there is space only. Okay, there is space only 20 people. Okay, but I have 21 value. So what I will do? I will say, okay, randomly remove any value. Randomly remove any value. So let's suppose the pop is not there. Then what you will do? You are supposed to make your own logic. Okay, you will remove any value, any random value. Okay, so alternate is yeah, please.
Sir, lottery में
Yeah,
भी करता है
you can take the concept of the lottery as well, but we are popping it, sir. We are not selecting it, we are popping it. That's mean we are removing that item.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there are
Yeah, yes, you can yes, you can take the the example for the lottery system as well. So use case can be something like this: you are getting 20 items, but you need only 20 items, but you are getting 21. Then what you will do? You will pop out any item, okay, because that is not all value have similar, the equal, you can say the equal probability, okay, or you can say the equal value. Okay, every value contain the equal weightage, basically the exact word, the equal weightage. Okay, every value have the equal weightage, so it's very confusing right now which should be removed. So at that time I can take the help of the pop, because every value contain the same weightage. Okay,
That is pop.
sorry, your voice is not coming properly, sorry.
So if we want to, like if the element that is pop, we want it, so what can we do?
The item which is popped,
Yes.
yeah, you can check it out. It return the item, it return you 10.
So that item we need it. That's the important item, and that's popped out.
So hey,
We,
variable, no?
so you can one thing is you can store it into the variable. Now again let's understand this scenario. I popped this item as well from this list, this set. Okay, so let's suppose I am making one new set over here. S is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so I need only 4 values, but I got 5, but I want to store that value for the another round. You can take like this. Okay, for this point of time, just imagine it. Okay, just imagine it. I have now understand the entire scenario. So I have slot of only 4 people. Okay, in the first round I get 5. So everyone, just take the same scenario, everyone give the equal fees to me, but I have availability only for the 4, because I have only 4 chair in my room. So I am not supposed to take more than that, but I got a fees from the 5 people. Why should I left 5th person? Okay, because that is again my customer. Okay, now what I can do, I can process only the 4 items. For example, what I will do, so I will pop out one item. Okay, let's suppose I will pop out one item. So I am storing that item into the XX variable. Okay, so I am storing that value into the XX variable. It didn't perform the pop. Okay, I am storing that variable into the, now the 40. Okay, the 40 item which I got, that is stored into the XX position. Okay, now what I will do in the next batch, my next batch is this one. Okay, my next batch is here only 3 people. So what I will do, s1 dot add of this XX. That's it. Now you can check. Now you can check the scenario. I think now the picture is clear how you can handle this situation.
okay, sir, got it.
Okay, so these are the way which you can handle. This one is again my logic, na?
Yes.
That is totally depend upon my logic, but exactly that I want to do. Now I will make this batch of 4 people and I will proceed this batch. Why should I left this one? That question, your question was, sir, I want to process that 5th item as well. So you can take it into like this. Okay, yes, there they give us, the Python give us the solution for the same. If you want to remove randomly anything, okay, so you can take this one. Another way is this one. You want to remove specific item, so remove of 30. So I don't want to proceed with 30. Okay, so now you can check it out. The 30 is removed. Choice is again your. Okay, so I think this is more than enough. Okay, let me make one small program for the same. So this one, here are the vowels A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so these are my vowel. Now my question is, write a program to print different vowel present in a word. Okay, present in a word. Last time we did this program as well. So this time I am using this concept with the help of this set. Now the things become very easy. Okay, so let's suppose this is my word. Okay, this is my word. So I want to find out the unique item. Here the word is Nitin. Okay, here the word is Nitin, and the unique vowel is only one, that is the I. Okay, so let me take it into the small letters. Okay, so let's suppose I am taking this one, random. Okay, the random values, rather than to take my name, I am taking the, I don't know what is the unique vowels over here. Okay, so now how I can proceed with this with the help of the set. So very simple. The concept is v dot. Okay, so first,
Sorry, sir, what we trying to do here?
sir, we are trying to find out the unique vowels from this entire string. I don't know the unique vowels. Okay, I know only 5 vowels, but I don't know what is the unique vowels over here. Okay, so first I am making it into a set. Okay, it's the set of W, because I again converted it into the set. Now you can check every character is converting into this set, into the unique item. Okay, so next is I am performing it s dot inter. Okay, INTER. So rather than to write the complete name, I am using it, and s dot intersection of your V. That's it. So now you will get, there are only 3 unique vowel, O, E and A. Very simple. Okay, this one is the my problem statement, that I have to find out the unique vowel from a given string. So this one is my given string. I converted it into the set. Now this string converted into the set. After that I perform the concept of the intersection as intersection of V. Now what is the meaning of the intersection? What are the common between these 3, A, E, I, O, U? Okay, intersection means the common between these. So here the common word is A. Okay, the common word, you can check it out somewhere, the A. Okay, and then the common is E, and the common is O. Okay, I got these 3. That's it. I got only these 3. Okay, so I think the picture is clear for everyone. This is the way, another way. Earlier we see the count the unique vowels into the entire string, that we already discussed in the case of, I suppose, dictionary as well. So now we discuss the same thing with the help of the set. Choice is again your. Okay, I show you the multiple way with the different data structures. It totally depend upon you, which you feel comfortable, you can proceed with that. Sometime interviewer can ask you, okay, with the help of set or with the help of dictionary or with the help of some another way, how you can proceed it. Okay, so that's it about the set. A very small topic, and try to do.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, please.
Sir, did you said like we can't do the slicing? I mean, like, can we put the, if I wanted to take the value individual, like
So no, sir, no. This is not a way. You can do the iteration for I in S.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, for I in S, and
So
then
that's my question.
no, uniquely no. You are not supposed to do the slicing. Okay, so this is the way with the help of this. If you try to do slicing, now you can check it out. You can check it out. You will get the error message. The type error. The set object doesn't support the indexing. Okay. And I already told you why it's giving you this, because the concept of the unordered pair. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now we are moving ahead. So almost our data structures are complete, and the next concept is little advanced part. We should proceed with today or tomorrow. What do you feel? Are you able to understand the things? Because this one is the new topic. Are you comfortable to understand? Should we proceed with the new topic or not?
What is the topic, sir?
The topic is
Can we?
topic is file handling.
I think we can start. We still half an hour, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, I have to do assignments also.
So we just touch this topic. We will not do it into the great detail. We just touch this part. Okay. So only 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Okay, so the everything now, the data structures are clear in great detail. We done more than 50 plus programs, I suppose, in the case of these all data structures. Now we are moving ahead for the next topic, and that is very useful topic. Without the concept of the data, the project cannot be completed. Okay, whenever you are supposed to do any project into the industry or into the school level or into the college level, at that time, okay, at that time, without databases, you are not supposed to submit your projects, because without databases, okay, the project doesn't get any identity. Okay, so understand now concept what exactly mean of this. If I want to store my information, till now whatever we didn't store our output anywhere. Okay, when the program is terminated, our output is missed out. So I want, what exactly I want to store my output for further reference, okay, for future reference, you can say like this. So earlier that we see the concept of the username and password, okay, and so many programs, after completion of the program, your output is not storing anywhere. So it means in the future reference, if I need to process this output, from where will I get this output? There is no solution till now, but we learn for till today. So now I am showing you the solution for the same, how you can store the data, how you can store the your output somewhere in some specific file. For example, the record, last time we make a program to store to enter the 5 student records, and after that you are supposed to enter the marks, name and so on. After completion of that program, the record is not stored anywhere. So now my question is, after completion of program, my record should be stored somewhere for the future reference. Let's suppose you are coming inside my class and I want to maintain the database of all my students, but after till now what we understand, after completion of class I don't have any record for the attendance, something like this. You can consider something like this. For this type of situation, okay, for handling this type of condition, you need a database. Okay, you need a database. If I talk about the scenarios, if you have a less amount of data, okay, let's suppose you are only having the 100 records, or you can say the 1000 records, at that time the best choice is files. Okay, best choice is files. Let's suppose your data is more, okay, the files support you can say the unstructured data as well. Unstructured data, the information, for example the typing information, for example I love Python, this one is the unstructured data. Okay, I love Python, okay, I love Python, this one is the unstructured data. So user can write anything. For the same WhatsApp message, you are supposed to write anything, whatever you want, you are supposed to write anything. Okay, so files are good for when your data is less amount of data, okay, and your data is unstructured data. Keep this point into the mind. Okay, at that time we will go with the files, then the files are best choice. Okay, let's suppose now your records are more, for example 1 lakh records, and your data is into the structured format. Okay, 1 lakh records and your data is into the structured format. When I call this term the structured, immediately Excel, okay, Excel, okay, so not Excel, immediately if I say the rows and columns, okay, if I say the rows and column, immediately the word came inside your mind, the Excel sheets, okay, and MySQL kind of things, where you are supposed to insert the data into the rows and columns. Okay, observe this scenario. So when the choice is something like this, let's suppose you want to store the structured data and the records are very high, let's suppose the 1 lakh record, or might be more than 1 lakh record, you can say the large amount of data, simply you can say the large amount of data. At that time the MySQL is best choice. Okay, we will cover this file handling and then we will cover this MySQL kind of things as well into the great detail. Let's suppose your data is very large, okay, very large, very huge amount of data, At that time you are supposed to think out of the box, okay, Hadoop kind of things, or you can use the NoSQL kind of things. Okay, this is not your syllabus because this one is the entirely totally different topic, that is the Hadoop and the NoSQL kind of things. So this is just for the information. If you want to store the less amount of data, at that time the files are best choice. If your data is high and large amount of data and the data is into the structured format, then go with the MySQL as well. Okay, if data is a very huge, very large amount of data, terabyte sets of data, petabyte sets of data, at that time you are supposed to move with the Hadoop and NoSQL kind of things. Okay, so we will cover this file handling into the great detail, this MySQL into the great detail. Okay, that is not our concern because this one is again the different subject and a different topic. So now I think the picture is clear to you guys. What are the files and where you are supposed to use the file, and what are the MySQL and where you are supposed to use the MySQL. Without these three things, okay, industry database projects cannot be complete. Keep this point into the mind because you are supposed to store the information somewhere. For example, your username and password, okay, that is stored somewhere into the system. Okay, whenever you enter your username and password, automatically data is picked it out from some databases, and after that you get your own page. The same thing, because your data is stored somewhere, might be into the cloud, into the data centers. Okay, that totally depend upon the application to application, which application you are using. So now our today's topic is to understand the concept of the files. And we know the files. The files are the simple text file, whatever we see a number of time. These are the files. Okay, these are the files, the text files. Okay, these are the text file, whatever we see and now we are supposed to play with these files. Now first understand what exactly the mean of this. Your data, the two operations can be done. Okay, the one is the read, okay, one is the read and the second one is the write. Keep this point into the mind. Okay, I am not taking any terminology for technical terminology for this point of time. Just understand this concept. You have a book, okay, you have a book or notebook, whatever you have. Let's suppose you have a notebook. You are supposed to open this notebook only for two purpose. Okay, only for two purpose. The one is for the reading purpose and the second one is for the writing purpose. Simple funda. Simple funda. If you want to open this notebook, you are supposed to open this notebook only for two purpose. The one is the read purpose and the second one is the write purpose. The same operation into the files. You are supposed to open these files into the read purpose or into the write purpose. Keep this point into the mind. Okay. So whenever you are using this notebook for the reading purpose or for the writing purpose, you need a pointer. Okay, you need a pointer who will point the characters. Okay, who will point the characters. And when you are opening this notebook into the write purpose, you need again a pointer who will write the data into this notebook. The same scenario. Okay, if I am opening any file, let's suppose I am opening this file, I open this file and I need a pointer who will read it out. Okay, who will read it out. You can check it out. This one is the pointer who is read the character by character, character by character, character by character. And in the case of writing, again you need a pointer. Okay, again you need a pointer. Let's suppose this pointer is blinking over here and you are supposed to write something over here. Okay, the concept is same, the same concept. The same concept that we are implementing with the help of this Python program. We are opening the file. Okay, obvious, whenever you are supposed to read operation, whenever you are supposed to write operation, it is mandatory that you have to open the file into the read mode or into the write mode. Without that you are not supposed to read it. Without that you are not supposed to open the write. Okay, or you are not supposed to write the content into the file. The first case is that yes, it is mandatory to open this notebook or open this file. Which mode that you are supposed to specify it, whether it's a read mode, whether it's a write mode. Okay, keep this point into the mind.
There is no way we can open in a mode where we can read and write both together.
Yes sir, I will discuss that thing into the grid. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I will tell you all the modes. Okay. So this one, these are the modes. I am just familiar you guys with the basic terminologies. Okay. Then the picture would be more easy when we will do the practical part of this. So I already told you, you need a pointer. Okay. The similar like to pen. Okay. The pointer which is used to read the data. The pointer which is used to write the data. Okay. We need a file pointer. Keep this point into the mind. The first step is you are supposed to open the file. The second step is you need a pointer. Okay. With that pointer you are supposed to read or you are supposed to write. Only two operations are there. The one is the read or one is the write. Okay. Apart from that there is no other operation. But in these operation, yes, I will describe into the graded, don't worry about it. So the third operation, that is the close this file. Yes, these are the 3 steps that are associated with the file handling, and these are the mandatory steps whenever you are performing the file. Now I think the picture is clear why we are using the file. Okay, why we are using the file? To store our data somewhere, to store our data permanently, basically, because whatever program we did till now, at that time we were not storing our data permanently, because that time when your programming is executing, at that time the data is stored into the memory. After closing that program, your data is washed out. Okay, because after closing your program, that doesn't save anywhere. So this one is the funda why we are using this file. So one is the thing, understand this one your file. Okay, this one your file, normal file, abc.txt file. Here you write I love Python, I like Python, I am learning Python, I am from Ireland, and so on. Okay, and this one is your Python script. Okay, this one is your normal abc.txt file which contains some information, and this one is your Python file. Okay, this one your Python file, whatever files that we made till now, and this one is your console screen. Understand this point. Understand this point. First I am showing you the read operation. Okay, I am showing you the read operation conceptually. So from this file you are supposed to read the entire data and display into the console screen. Okay, so this concept is called reading. So what you did, you make a connection with it. Okay, you make a connection with it. This one your Python script. Okay, with the help of this Python script, you made a connection with this abc.txt file. After reading the data from here, with the help of again this Python script, you are displaying the data over here. Okay, with the help of the print statement, very simple. We know how we can display the data on the console. The first thing is that you are supposed to read the data from this file with the help of this Python program, and after that you are supposed to display that data on the console screen. So this entire step is called read operation. Okay, this entire step is called read operation. Second is the write operation. Write operation means with the help of this console screen, you are asking the data from the user. Okay, enter name, enter roll number, enter age. This data is entered into the console screen. With the help of this Python script or Python program, this data is written back into the file, that is the abc.txt. So this concept is called write. Okay, these are the 2 steps. Now you understand the concept, what is the purpose of the read, what is the purpose of the write. The read means that you are reading the data from some files, and after doing the manipulation, okay, after doing the operation over that data, for example, you read this entire data, and in this data you are supposed to print only those lines which contain the love. Understand my point. Okay, I am supposed to process only those lines which contain the love word. Okay, so here you are supposed to write your own logic, what you want to do. Okay, and according to that logic you are displaying the data to the user. Okay, because this one is the data after doing the manipulation you will display to the user. Another, this is the area where you are asking a data from the user. After getting the data from the user, you are supposed to write it into the files. Okay, this concept is called writing, because you are storing this data for the future reference. Okay, in future that you want to read it out. Okay, you know it. Okay, in my class these are my students and this is the information about my students. So these are the 2 steps, that is called read and write. Okay, so conceptually you understand this concept. Now I am moving the little technical terms. The first thing is that I already told you, you are supposed to open a file. Okay, and you are supposed to mode of a file. For example, how I can open a file? F is equal to open. Okay, open which file I want to open, that I am specifying over here. Let's suppose my file is present on the D drive. Okay, my Python progs. Okay, inside this file there is a file and the file name is called abc.txt. Okay, on which mode you are supposed to open it? Sir, I am opening it into the read mode. Okay, so now with the help of this open, okay, with the help of this open, you are opening this file. On which mode you are opening this file? Into the read mode, and this become a file pointer. Okay, this become a file pointer. Now this one is a file pointer who will help you to read and write into that file. Okay, because this file I open into the read mode, so that's why I am only supposed to use the read terminology with the help of this file pointer. So your F will become your file pointer, like a pointer like this, which is moving on the screen. Okay, now it's a file pointer. With the help of this file pointer, you are supposed to perform the operation of the read, you are supposed to perform the operation on the write. If I talk about the read operation, okay, if I talk about the read operation, so when I talk about the read operation, when I talk about the write operation, there are only two methods over here. Here the four methods. Okay, the one is a read method. Okay, the one is a read method, and the second one is read n method. Another method is read line method. Okay, another method is read lines method. Okay, so these are the four methods which are associated when you are supposed to perform the read operation. When you are supposed to perform the write operation, there are only two methods. The one is write. Okay, another one is write lines. Okay, so these are the two methods which are associated with the write, and these are the four methods which are associated with the read. So today we will see this this write method only. Okay, so whenever you are supposed to perform the write, at that time you are supposed to use these two methods only. Okay, with the help of these two you are supposed to perform it. Okay, now sir ask me a question, sir, how many ways that you are supposed to open this file? Okay, so understand this point. I can open a file with 7 modes. I can open any file with 7 modes. The mode number 1, that is the read mode. Okay, so I am writing a short names for the same. The read mode, okay, that is the R mode. The second mode, that is the write mode, okay, the basic mode. The third mode, that is the append mode. Okay, inside computer science, whenever the terminology came append, it means end of the file, always end of the data. Keep this point into the mind. Whenever the terminology use append inside computer's world, it means end of the data. Okay, you can blindly say, okay sir, this is the end of the data. That's mean your cursor will point out over here the end of the data. Okay, so these are the basic mode. Now another mode is R plus mode, okay, W plus mode, okay, A plus mode, and the last mode is exclusively open mode. These are the 7 modes by which you are supposed to open the files. So it's depend upon my problem statement to problem statement which mode is suitable at that time. Okay, so now I am explaining step by step the each mode. Very simple. Read mode, name specify itself. Sir, it's mean I am opening a file into the read mode, so I am only supposed to read the content. I am not supposed to write. If I try to perform the write operation with this f.write, then immediately I will get the error message. Why so? Because I open this file into the read mode only. That's mean I am opening this notebook only for the reading mode. I am not supposed to write anything into this mode. Okay. Now the second mode is a write mode. Good. So I am opening a book or opening a file on the write mode. Here you are supposed to define like this, a write mode. So now I am supposed to write the content into the file. Okay, now understand this point. Let's suppose I am opening a file into the write mode. Keep this point into the mind. I am opening this abc.txt file into the write mode. Let's suppose that file is not available there. Okay, that file is not available there. So what you will get? You will get a fresh file. Okay, fresh file, that the name is abc.txt. Okay, so it is mandatory in the case of the read mode. Okay, it is mandatory in the case of the read mode. When you are supposed to open a file, that file should be present into that location, whatever location that you are supplying. Keep this point into the mind, because you are opening a book and that book should be there. That's why you are supposed to open that book. Otherwise you will get the error message, the file not found message, found error. Okay, keep this point into the mind in the case of the write. But in the case of the read, sorry, in the case of the read, the file should be present over there. But in the case of the write, if file is not present there, then what will happen? It will generate a new copy. Okay, it will generate a new fresh copy for the same. This is the one scenario. Understand this point very clearly. Okay, if the file is not there, it will create automatically. Now the concept number 2, let's suppose if file is there, okay, and it contains some data. It contains some data and you are trying to open that file into the write mode. What will happen? Your previous data will be vanished. Okay, your previous data will be removed. it will give you a fresh and empty file. Keep this point into the mind. I am repeating once again. Okay, I am repeating once again. If you are opening a file into the write mode, if file is not there, then it will automatically create that file. If a file is already there, okay, file is already there and it contains some data, then what will happen? It will remove your previous data. Okay, it will remove your previous data. Keep this point into the mind. So this one is the write mode. Okay, so simply you are supposed to write over here W. Now the third mode, okay. Now this means the append operation, that I want to perform the append operation. It won't overwrite the existing data. Keep this point into the mind. Let's suppose I am opening a file on append mode. Now there is a file abc.txt which contains some data. Now it won't overwrite it. Okay, your cursor will be blinking over here. Okay, your cursor will be blinking over here. Okay, if the specific file is already available, then this mode will create a new file. Okay, sorry, if the specific file is not available, okay, if this specific file is not available, then again this append mode, this mode automatically create a new file. Keep this point into the mind. Okay, now what is the difference between these three? When you are opening a file into the read mode, you are supposed to perform only read operation. When you are opening a file into the write, it means you are getting a fresh file. If the file is there, then it will override the existing data. If the file is not there, then it will generate a new fresh file for you guys. In the case of the append mode, if the file is there, then it will blink a cursor over end of the data. If the file is not there, then it will create a new file for you. Okay, so these are the three different basic mode. Now again move to this R plus mode. R plus mode, that you are opening a file into the both of the modes, the first read mode and then you are supposed to write mode. Okay, so write mode always remove the previous data. Now first thing is that, understand this, my requirement is this one. First I want to read the entire data and then I am supposed to write the data. Okay, and then I am supposed to write the data from the very beginning. Okay, now observe this scenario. I am reading the entire data and after that into the same file I am supposed to write something from the beginning of the file. At this situation you are supposed to go with the R plus mode. Okay, so this one is the R plus mode. Okay, keep this point into the mind. You are supposed to perform both of the operation, but first operation is a read. That's mean you read and after that you are supposed to write. Again the another mode W plus, by the way we will see the one use case with the help of R plus mode on later on. Okay, in the W plus mode, the first operation will be write and then operation would be read. Now when you perform the W plus mode, then at that time your data will be vanished out first. Okay, it will remove the previous data and then you are supposed to write something. Okay, and after that you are reading whatever you write. Okay, if the scenario is something like this, then you are supposed to go with the W plus mode. Okay, the third mode, A plus mode. Okay, A plus mode mean to append at the end. Okay, and then you are supposed to perform the read operation. Okay, then you are supposed to perform the write operation. Okay, all operation append. First you appended something. Okay, then what you did, you read something. Okay, you read the entire data and then you perform the write operation, and always whenever the write operation is there, it will remove the previous data and you are supposed to write something. So if the situation is something like this, okay, then you are supposed to go with the A plus mode. Okay, to append read data from the file. So these are the scenarios, different 6 scenarios, and the 7th scenario is exclusively open mode. Okay, exclusively open mode. Now understand this point. To open a file into the exclusively open mode, then you are supposed to take like this, X into the single quote, or you can use the double quotes. Okay, it's mean that file is opening into the exclusively open mode. Okay, if the file is already exist, understand this point. If the file is already exist, it will give you the error message. Okay, if the file is available there. For example, you have a files. Okay, you have a files Ram record, Sham record, Mohan record, Sohan record, and let's suppose Rani record. and by mistake here the information, the entire information that belongs to the RAM, okay, and by mistake if you open the data into W mode, okay, ram.txt, you open the data into the W mode. Here what is happening, you are removing the previous RAM data, okay, because I open the file into the W mode. Let's suppose the previous RAM is Ram Kumar, okay, now you are supposed to make a one new file, the new RAM is coming and this RAM is Ram Kumar Sharma, okay, the different entity. So at that time you by mistake you did it, okay, ram.txt into W mode, the previous data will be removed. But I want if the person is trying to open a file and that file is already available, then the person get the error message, okay, the person get the error message. I am repeating my words once again. Let's suppose you are trying to open a file into the write mode, okay, and into any of the mode, but that file is already available there, okay, the file is already available there and it contains some information. So at that time you will get the error message, the file is available, okay. The situation is something like this. If let's suppose if ram.txt, now in this case ram.txt is already available there and I open this file into the X mode, now immediately you will get the error message, this file is already present, you are not supposed to open this file because I use the X mode. Now observe my scenario. If RAM is not available, then what will do, then what this mode will do, this mode will create a file, okay, create a file with the name of RAM. Now I think the picture is clear. You want to restrict, okay, you want to restrict your program. If this file is already available into my files, then you are supposed to give the error message to the user, because sometime let's suppose the user try to open that file which is already exist and this file contains some information regarding this person, that is the RAM, but the new person name also is coming with the name of RAM and you are trying to create a one new file with that person name RAM, because the RAM name can be similar for n number of names, okay, n number of identities and number of entities. So at that time you want to restrict your program, okay, you want to restrict your program. If you want to restrict your program, at that time you are supposed to go with the X mode. When you use this X mode, your system will get the message to the user, the error message, this file is already available and you are not supposed to open that file, okay. So these are the 7 modes. If you have any doubt regarding these modes, please let me know before proceed further, okay, please ask me, because this is all about the file handling, that's it. Rest of the things are depend upon your logic, what logic that you want to implement. That logic can be take the help of the list, tuple, dictionary and set sometimes, because these are the basic terminology to understand the concept of the file handling, okay. So any question till now you can ask me before proceed further. So please,
सर A plus को थोड़ा जल्दी से समझा दो. A plus.
okay, so you have doubt with A plus, okay. So okay, A plus mean append, read and write operation. For example, this one is your file, you want to perform append operation, you want to perform a, you know, the read operation and you want to perform a write operation. So write operation up.
There is no order. I don't have to append first before I can read it. Or you know what I mean? Are we saying that I got to append something before I can read, or we are saying that this file is available for reading, writing and appending?
Yeah, you can say like this. This file is available for read, append and writing as well.
Okay.
Okay, to append the data from the file, it won't override the existing data. You can say simply define this terminology like this. Like you append and read the data from a file, okay, and it won't override the existing data. I think now the picture is clear.
But sir, you said like it's a plus we can write. So if we can write, can we not make the changes on the existing data?
Sir, we are writing the data, na? We are writing A plus. A plus mode means append. That append means always end of this cursor you are blinking. If let's suppose there are 10 lines, your cursor is blinking over here. Now you are supposed to write your data from this point. Okay, you are writing your data from this point. So after writing your data, you are supposed to read the entire data. Getting my point? You are supposed to read this entire data. So at that time, which mode will be fruitful for this situation? A plus mode will be useful.
But at the same time, when we are reading, or if I want to make any changes on the pre-existing data,
Sir, directly you are not, because directly you are not supposed to do it. But yes, there is a way. We will learn this way later on. Okay, directly, because this is the, you know, the unstructured data. It doesn't mean that go on this line and try to change something. No, it is not happen into this scenario. But in the case of the rows and column, yes, you can do it. In the case of MySQL, you can go on this specific location and you can change the data. But here the data is unstructured. You have to perform some diplomatic logic for the same. Okay, let's suppose you want to make a change over this line. It doesn't mean that you directly move. Two ways are moving the pointer. If you know, okay, which one is the line number or which one is the character number, then we have two methods, tell and seek method. We will learn later on. At that time, you can move your cursor over here directly, but you don't know exactly where you want to change. Okay, you want to change a line, which line contain the love. Okay, so at that time, what you will do? The logic is little diplomatic. Okay, so directly you are not supposed to change, because why so? Because this is the unstructured data, and unstructured data is very complicated to handle. Okay, so this one is the basic terminology. I think the picture is clear for everyone. Okay, so two basic operations, read and write. When in the case of read, then you are supposed to read. Okay, read n, read n, read line, read lines. Okay, these are the four methods which are available. Okay, we will understand step by step every method in great detail. And then we have a write. Okay, in the case of write, only two methods. The one is the write and the second one is the write line. Okay, these are the two methods. That's it. That is all about the, and the 7 modes. Okay, in the 7 modes, and one is open the file. Okay, the file pointer, open the file, 7 modes, and close the file. That's it. This is all about your file handling. And the rest of the things, whatever we learned till now, the list, okay, the dictionary, everything will be used inside the logic, whatever we will perform. Okay, step by step we will see the entire thing. So are you want to continue this session, or should we close this session? I think more than enough. Okay, so try to read it out. Tomorrow we will see the practical implementation of this, because if we do today this right, then I will give you the 5 assignment immediately. Otherwise I will show you the 5 assignment by my own. So what do you want? Because I am supposed to give the 5 assignment with the help of this right, if we do it today. Otherwise I will show tomorrow the 5 assignment by my own. So no problem. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think it's enough today. Yeah,
Okay, no, don't worry. So these are all about the file, and these are the only 7 steps, and you will feel more enjoy in the case of the file handling, because these are the real time scenarios. Okay, with the help of this file handling, you are supposed to make a small applications as well. So I think more than sufficient for today.